What's up, homies? Welcome to the Axis of Combat podcast. This is episode 3. Yes, 3. We are 3 episodes in. You already know who I am because you've seen the intro video in the first 2 episodes. Hugo the boss, Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
Your boy Ray, Boogie Kahuna. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about UFC Vegas 70, and we're going to recap very quickly before UFC Vegas 70, UFC 69, and some of our bets. This will be very quick. I know one of the bets, I only made 3 bets on that card because that whole card was 1-800-gamblers, you know. I'm surprised I even decided at the end of it to make 3 bets. One of the bets I made, and I think my brother made as well. What's homeboy's name?
Clayton Carpenter.
Clayton Carpenter. You see?
Yep.
Who? He's a newcomer, so that's why I forgot his name. It took me a second, but he got the finish, so we both hit on that bet. The next bet that we made was AJ Fletcher. He got the finish, which we expected. The guy pulled guard, did a lot of things incorrectly. He was just, too willing to go to the floor with AJ, and AJ just pounced on him. The third bet that I made, which I missed on, was Jessica Andrade. But if you give me Andrade at minus 120 against a girl that has to prove it to you, I'm going to take it. And, I was wrong. She did clip her a couple times in the first round, but Aaron's the real deal. So... And my brother made all 3 of those bets. I believe he made another 2 bets, right?
Yes, sir.
What were those 2 bets?
Well, decided to take 2 dog shots, one on Elder. He was winning until he wasn't. He got on all judges' scorecards, hit the first 2, but then, illegal headbutt. They didn't call it a headbutt at the time, but, he ended up losing that. And then I ended up betting on Jim Miller, who, excellent fight. Almost got that rear naked choke right at the end, but, swing and a miss. And I'm saying they were too good on the dog bets at the end of the day, but, I got a little greedy, a little degenerate came out of me, you know what I'm saying? There was 2 more bets I did want to make, the Emmers bet and Bueno Silva, but, I was like, I already took these other 2 dogs, let me chill. Those would have hit. So, gamblers regret, whatever. We move on to the next one, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. I made a live bet on Jim. And I'll own it, but I told you guys if he got out the first round with Alex Fernandes, that down the road of that fight, it was going to be close. And it was close.
Yeah.
I think
Fernandes.
Alex Fernandes was probably the rightful one in that fight. So I'm not too upset about it. And I made a very large degenerate live bet gamble on Bueno Silva once I learned that, once I saw that Lena Landsberg was not going to,
She didn't have the smoke.
She didn't have any smoke.
Nah.
She's aged. She's done. She's only going to win against low-level competition and girls that don't have finishing threats.
Yep, and she got retired and cut.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense, man. It was, once she didn't beat her in the clinch, which is where her strength was at, I knew the fight was over. So I made a very unreasonable live bet on her, on the very degenerate level, but...
Trust us, he did.
Yeah, it was a lot of money, but it is what it is. I knew it was going to cash, so we were good. But, anyway, on to the next. My brother did, he had okay night. I had a pretty good night, 2 out of 3. And, we'll get better, like our bets were not bad. But, on to the next. And we're going to roll right into UFC Vegas 70. Now, to open the UFC Vegas 70 card, we got Jose Johnson versus Garrett Armfield. What do you got for me?
All right, let me just bring up my notes real quick. All right. We got Jose Lobo Solitario Johnson.
I thought you did speak Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish, man, but, I'm into these nicknames, you know what I'm saying? The Lone Wolf, you know what I'm saying? Dominican out of Michigan. He's making his UFC debut against Garrett Armfield. Armfield lost his UFC debut against Onama, but, that was a last-minute fight. And that was up a weight class. He fought Onama one other time before that, also lost. And I also think that was at featherweight. This is a bantamweight bout. Johnson, he's got hands, he's got elbows, he's good. He's a good striker. I think this is Armfield's fight to lose, I'm being honest. I don't got that much on them because these guys are both like, they're up and comers. Jose's got power. I think Armfield is going to be able to take him down because Jose can't defend the takedown. Jose can get back up, but he can't defend the takedown. I think that's what we really got on this one, to be honest.
Sad day in DR. I agree with you. I think this is Armfield's fight to lose. I'm leaning with you for exact reasons, and I don't even have to continue to go. That was perfect. The next fight we have is Hailey Cowan versus Ailin Perez.
Hailey Cowan. Who? Another UFC debut. She's a Contender Series girl from Texas. UFC is kind of high on her. She's going to be fighting Fiona Perez. They're both bullies, right? So Cowan, she's got a gymnastic background. She's a big girl. She's got power. She stands like what's his name? Wonder Boy. You know, she kind of fights out of the karate stance. Yeah, she's got a good top game when she's on top. I mean, pause. Hey, hey. But I think this comes down to, who could impose their will more? I know Perez lost her debut, short notice. Was it short notice? I don't remember. But she lost to Stephanie Egger at 145. That's a weight class up. If Perez is kind of a bull. She throws hard. Not the most technical, but I think she can get in on Cowan. I think she could take Cowan down. And I think she could sub Cowan. So I think that's the way I'm kind of leaning there.
Right. Yeah. No. And I think I'm on you with this. I'm not going to put money on this fight because I think these two ladies have a lot to prove to me. But if I had a lean, it's probably going to be Ailin Perez. I believe she has a well-versed ground game too, right, from her back.
Yeah, she's got a good bottom game.
Yeah, if I remember correctly from the film tape we were watching. But
she was able to give Egger not problems, but she kept it a competitive first round with Egger before Egger decided to put her away. Yeah,
I just wonder what if they're hiding this Hailey girl, this Hailey Cowan girl. Who? That they're kind of prepping her and propping her with proper matchmaking. But regardless, I'm gonna go with the better skills here and the person that's proven to me a little bit more. We're gonna roll with Ailin Perez. Now to our next fight. Excuse me for butchering this young man's name. His name is Nurullo Aliev.
Who?
Versus Rafael Alves. This is a phenomenal fight, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you got for me on this?
Both Contender Series alum. Aliev is making his debut. They call him the clone Khabib. I don't think he's as good as Khabib, but he's definitely modeled his game off of Khabib. He's uses his striking his subpar striking to set up his takedown, double leg, single leg, vicious ground and pound. And he's been training. He trains with a lot of high level guys like Chimaev, Fiziev, Gilbert Burns. UFC's got to think kind of highly about this guy because, they're matching him up against Alves, who his last fight out had it was a banger of a fight against Dober, where Dober ended up taking him out in the third round with a body shot. Which way am I leaning here? I think Aliev can get this done. I like Alves a lot, but the problem with Alves is that even though he's very explosive with his striking and can clean anybody out, I think he makes too many mistakes. He jumps for guillotine. He's always on his back, but it's never because people take him down. It's because he's just super aggressive. And I think if you give a guy like Aliev any kind of opportunity on the ground, on top of the fact that he can take you down, I think he could grind his way to a decision. He's not the biggest finisher, but I think this is I think I'm leaning Aliev here, the young eagle here.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. He's the baby eagle, and he modeled this game a lot after Khabib. As my brother said, Rafael is super explosive. If you've never seen this guy fight, this guy does like cartwheel kicks in the ring. He'll do a backflip and land right on top of you. Like he could do a lot of what Michel Pereira does to a lot of his opponents, but he, obviously not, because I think he just has a better fight IQ, which is saying a lot about, Michel Pereira's fight IQ, because Michel Pereira doesn't have a ton of great fight IQ. But anyway, Rafael Alves, super explosive, super dangerous. But I agree with my brother, but the UFC must think a lot. They must think a lot and very highly of Aliev if they're pairing him with this animal there for his first fight. And I agree. I think Alves does make a lot of bad decisions in the ring. Like his IQ is, And what do I say about people with bad fight IQ? Can't put my hard-earned money on them. So I'm going to roll with Aliev here and by decision. I think that's the best bet to make for this fight. But, yeah, I don't mind him straight. I think his straight number is not bad. But I know for sure that, yeah, he's minus 180. I take him straight. But if I had to pick a method, I agree with my brother. I think it's via decision. Now, on to our next fight. We have Joe Solecki versus Carl Deaton, the third.
Who?
The third. Had to say it 3 times. What do you got for me for this fight, brother?
Well, this is not Joe Solecki's original opponent, and to be honest, Joe Solecki wasn't even on this card originally. This is a fight that got made this week. He was originally supposed to be fighting Benoit Saint Denis, but for whatever reason, Benoit pulled out. Now they got Joe Solecki paired up with Carl. Let me pronounce his nickname correctly here. Anishinaabe, the Anishinaabe kid, Deaton the third.
Who?
Watching tape on Deaton here. Solid striking. I think he's a tough out for Solecki here. But I think Solecki should be able to get it done just because Solecki is very slick when it comes to his jiu-jitsu and his submission game. The only thing I'm worried about is maybe Solecki gassing out in the third if he doesn't get him out early. But Deaton has been shown to be easy to take down. If Deaton could keep it standing, Deaton could win, I think. I don't know because Solecki's fighting. His striking has gotten better as well. But I think this is Solecki. I think this is Solecki sub. Solecki all day for me. That's all. That's all I really got on this one.
I'm gonna lean Solecki here too. I'm not enough to put my money on him.
I mean, listen, I was watching tape, like I said, watching tape on Deaton. I seen this guy get double-legged to death by a guy who looked like Freddie Mercury. And I was like, damn, Tong Po versus Freddie Mercury. There's some crazy matchmaking down here, but listen.
You betting on Joe?
I think
lean. It's a lean.
It's a lean.
Yeah.
It's a lean.
I'm definitely betting on Aliev. The last fight, for sure. That's a bet.
Yeah.
I think he wins that fight. And yeah, I think I'm going to lean Joe Solecki, but I'm definitely not betting. So I'm with you here as well.
Okay.
But now for our next fight, we have Charles Johnson versus Ode Osbourne. What do you got?
Well, I think this is going to be very competitive, if I'm being honest. I've been going back and forth with this because while I do think Osbourne is the more explosive and quicker striker, I do think Charles Johnson's the more technical striker. My only problem with Johnson is that he can be a slow starter, and Johnson doesn't have that one-hit quitter ability. You know what I'm saying? He can't put dudes out in one hit, but with a barrage he can. But this fight is a good fight. Charles is stepping up last minute. This wasn't his original opponent. His original opponent was I don't even think I got it written down here. I guess it doesn't even matter, to be honest, but I think this is the better fight stylistically, I guess, for Charles, because Charles has faced all grapplers.
Just wrestlers, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of wrestlers. And on short notice.
Yes.
He's also taking this fight on short notice, and I agree with you. My lean here, I know in some places they have Charles Johnson at like minus 180. Do not bet on those portals. They have him at minus 155 on DraftKings right now, and I think that is a quality bet. He is going to be my bet for this fight. Ode does crack. He can crack. He can put Charles in danger, but I think that Charles is a dog. Like, you have to literally kill this guy. And I think he does a lot of things really well. I think his grappling is super underrated, but he's been in there with like Masayev, I think that's his name, and he's like a hammer. And then you have, he's just been in there with quality opponents and guys that can really wrestle. And he's put a lot of them in uncomfortable positions as well. And, Ode can wrestle, but not grapple to the level of those guys. And I think Charles is the more technical counterpuncher. He does a lot of things well. He's very funky with his movement. I like Charles Johnson here. And I like the bet for this fight that I'm going to make particularly is probably going to be Charles Johnson and the over around a round and a half. Matter of fact, let's say that. My lean's going to be Charles Johnson. My bet is going to be over a round and a half because I think Charles is not going to get finished, and I don't think I think it's going to take I think Ode is going to be dangerous for the first round and a half, and then he's going to get over, and then if Charles stops him, it's going to be late. But I don't see Ode packing up Charles. I don't see Charles packing him up early. I see him packing him up late, possibly, or just getting this to a decision. The lean's going to be Charles Johnson. I believe the bet is going to be over a round and a half.
I agree. I mean, some people might think the over round and a half is spicy because O'Day's been finished in the first round. But I agree with my brother. I think this fight is going to be very competitive. I think Charles Johnson is probably going to be controlling the pace because he is the more technical, slick striker. And yeah, I mean, listen, O'Day could win the first 2 rounds. I could see that.
Right.
And then it goes that way. And I could see Charles 100% winning the last round because, again, he's a slow starter, but, you know, he could put it on when he puts it on.
He's a dog.
It's that second round is going to be key, I feel like, in this fight. But I think this fight does go to distance. Gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling.
But the bet's definitely a round and a half.
I think round and a half is a
solid bet.
It's a solid bet.
Solid bet. So, but moving on, we have Jordan Leavitt versus Victor Martinez at 155. What do you got for this fight? For the Monkey King versus, I don't know if Victor Martinez has a nickname.
Oh, Vic the Brick.
Vic the Brick.
Vic the Brick because he got them hands.
Frank the Tank, you feel me?
But yeah.
Old school. You know, so, but he got the hands. Okay, so he can crack.
Yeah, he's got hands. Yep. But I don't think it's going to matter because Jordan Leavitt is only really, if you look down his resume, I think he's only struggled against people who can out-grapple him. Like, I know people are going to be, I think they're a little low on him because of his last fight against Pimlet. Listen, I don't like Patty personally, but that's, you know, another story, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Jordan's only lost to people who can grapple him and even when he hasn't lost, because he fought, I can't remember his name, Ogden. And Ogden was another grappler. And he took him to split decision. I don't think Victor's got any kind of smoke for the Monkey King, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think he's got hands, and I think he can be trouble in this division. It's not like I don't think he's because he's also making his debut. It's not that Victor isn't a worthy call-up. I just think it's a bad matchup for him. I mean, listen, he can catch
the Monkey
Jordan.
Yeah.
He could catch him on the chin, but anybody can catch anybody. But I think Jordan's too defensively sound for that because Jordan is very smart when the way he sets up his strikes. He sets them up in a way where he kind of keeps you at distance and kind of forces you to come in and make a mistake so he can grapple you. I think this is, for me, this is an easy pick. I think I'll be betting Jordan.
Yeah, I like Jordan a lot in this fight as well too for the same reasons. You're not gonna. It's a pick. They have it as a pick 'em, but that's only because Vic can crack.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's the right way to look at this. Pimblett is a decent grappler, and by the way, drum roll on this one. It looks like they're gonna pair him up with Drew Dober next. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Drew Dober take my money because I think he sends him straight to Satan's basement, man. I really do. The darkest part, Stevie Wonder can't even see him up in there, bro. So I think but that's a different discussion for a different day. But if there's a futures bet and Drew Dober and Patty does come along, you put your money on Drew Dober. I think he sends that boy to hell, like in a bad way.
Yeah.
But for this fight, I do like Jordan as well. I think Jordan's ground game is very underrated. I think Jordan is I think Jordan's very slick with working against the clinch and getting to your back in the clinch. I also think that Jordan has a very good fight IQ. I do. I think he has a very underrated fight IQ, actually. And I agree. He doesn't overextend to get caught with those big shots. And if he's going to know coming into this fight that Vic Martinez is only one chance of winning this fight is by marking him, right?
Yes.
So if he just mitigates that, he wins this fight. I like Jordan Leavitt as well. He will be getting a bet on my side as well.
Yeah, and, again, Jordan shouldn't have a problem getting this guy's back either because when this guy gets up, he gives up his back a lot. And you don't want to do that against Jordan.
I recall that in the tape. Yeah. He against guys at a low level, some guys that are not even grapplers.
Yeah.
Like he gets on all fours and they immediately take his back. He doesn't know how to work his way up on the cage. A lot of things. And Jordan shines against the cage. I could just see him. I agree. He might even stop him via submission.
Yeah.
It might happen. It might happen. But I'm gonna lean Jordan because it's a pick 'em. It's a good number. That's a safe bet. So
Monkey King all day, baby.
Monkey King, baby.
I want him to pop, lock, and drop it and
He
busted down Tatiana for a boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you.
For people that don't know this guy, when he beats your ass and then he twerks on you after and he pops it, it's hilarious. I respect him because he's so comfortable with his sexuality that he does not care. You know, he does not care. He just does it. You know, and by the way, he has kids and everything.
Yeah.
Great father, great guy. It just. He gets in there, he'll literally shake his ass on you after he knocks you out. So
he like doing the
he
splits.
chokes you out. Yeah.
Yep. He likes doing splits and busting it, yo.
Yeah,
Straight busting it
and good splits, which is why his jiu-jitsu so filthy.
Yeah.
It's filthy. But anyway, moving on to the next fight, we have Gabriella Fernandes versus Jasmine.
Who?
Jasudavicius.
I've heard her name a million times, and every time I look at her name, I can't pronounce it. It's Jas.
Let's just say Jasmine J.
Jasmine J.
Yeah.
The Jasudavicius is something like that. Jesus Christ.
What do you got for me on this fight?
Well, this fight is a little tough. I can't get a read either way. Gabriella, she's making her debut. She's a very good striker. Big, mixes her kicks up well. Has power in her punches. She sits down on her punches. She's got some submissions, but you can take her down, and that's kind of Jasmine's game. The problem with Jasmine, she's a line stepper, bro, and not that she's a line stepper. She's kind of a bully because her first fight against Hansen was punching her face off, but she was able to get Hansen down because she was just a bigger girl.
Right. And
then they matched her up against, I can't remember her name. Give me a second. Oh, her last fight, Natalia Silva. And she was a big favorite in it, but I think the matchmaker kind of slept on Silva because Silva's just a beast.
Yeah.
And she was able to just wash Jasmine. Wash her.
Took her to the laundromat.
Oh my God. Hung her up to dry. She was boxing her face off and stopping every kind of takedown coming at her. Jasmine didn't have nothing for this girl. Even though she was the bigger girl, Natalia, she didn't care. Natalia's a problem. They matched her up pretty bad there. But I don't have a read because I can't tell you if it's going to come down to basically if she can take down Gabriella, I think she can win. The problem is that I've only seen her take down smaller girls.
Right.
Because her technique, not that is not the best, but she's kind of a weight bully. And these guys, I would like to see both of these girls after weigh-ins when they face them off to get a really good read on it.
Right.
I'm leaning Gabriella because Jasmine blocks with her face. She gets pieced up every time. Like a punching bag. Blah, blah, blah.
She was malarkey before his last fight.
Well, she was malarkey, but without the clap back, because at least malarkey could strike back. She's got subpar striking, so it's a slight lean, but I think maybe it's a live bet fight. Maybe, now that I think about it, maybe it's a live bet fight because if she can take her down, I think she could win.
Right.
The only problem is that I just never seen her take down anybody that wasn't a tiny woman. So
yeah, for all the points that you made, I agree with you. I'm staying away from this fight because this fight is extremely dangerous. It is low-level MMA.
Yes.
I agree. I think this is a fight that I'm a live bet because I don't see either one of these girls stopping each other. Maybe a late stoppage, but not early. But this might, if I can get a read on how the fight looks early, I would definitely be putting my bet on someone.
Yeah.
Depending which way it goes. So I agree. I will be staying away from this fight. It's definitely a live bet spot for me. So, but moving on, we have Erick Gonzalez versus Trevor Peak.
Erick, the Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, who got just slapped up by Jim Miller.
Old man Miller.
And then ended up getting subbed by Terrence McKinney.
Yeah, Erick Gonzalez got sent to hell by Jim Miller.
to get one punch clapped up by Jim Miller. I mean,
a guy who's not a big puncher.
Yeah.
A guy who's a submission first guy, know, and with his boxing has gotten better, but it says a lot about you and you possibly walking into punches, which he kind of did. He kind of walked into the hook that he threw and knocked him out with. And it was just a repetitive pattern that Erick Gonzalez had in that fight. So I agree. But
yeah, this fight, it's not. Listen, this fight is not too complicated. I think Erick Gonzalez has got good striking. The problem is he's got terrible defense.
Yes.
He can be hit and he can be clapped up. When it comes to Trevor Peak, who by the way looks, I can't not see Walter Goggins when I see him. I think if you take Trevor Peak and you take Damon Jackson and you threw him in a blender,
it's Walter Goggins.
Walter Goggins will be birthed. He will come out just like Walter Goggins.
This guy's from Alabama too, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he's from Alabama. He trains out of Tennessee.
Same accent, everything.
Oh man, heavy Southern accent.
It's crazy, man.
And listen, Trevor Peak, he's making his debut. This dude is raw. Like, he is a ugly fighter. Ugly. He's got power. But man, he's ugly. He just throws. He's undefeated. But his level of competition, he's the ultimate, like, you walk into a bar, this guy's like, he's just sitting there like, what you looking at, boy? What you looking at me, boy? And like, he's like Popeye, bust down like a whole 6-pack of Budweiser, just like Popeye, like his spinach. And he just barroom brawler, man. Straight up barroom brawler. He's got no technique, but the two things this guy's got is heart and hands.
The two H's.
Yeah, he's got the two H's. Heart and hands. And against a guy like Gonzalez,
that's arguably all you need.
I don't think this fight goes the distance.
Is that the bet? I'm curious as to the line.
I don't know if that's the bet. But man, if this fight went the distance, that'd be crazy.
This is also like low-level MMA.
Very low.
Because Trevor's a newcomer.
Yeah.
One way to win. Gonzalez has a lot to prove.
Yes.
I'm probably going to stay away from this fight if I'm being honest with you.
Like, low-key, this is like this is going to be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. It sounds crazy, but I guess I kind of want to lean Peak. Only because he hits like a hammer. The problem is his technique is dog shit. But I think that's the lean. I think that's the way I want to go. Because Erick Gonzalez is like, again, he's a more technical striker. But man, he's got no kind of defense.
Habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
Habitual.
So I think there's gonna be a nice back and forth while it lasts, and I think Trevor Peak might edge him. I think Trevor Peak is a fade, maybe later on against a better striker. But for now, I think that's the way I'm leaning, I think, for now.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this fight. I have no pick in this fight because very low-level MMA.
Yeah.
Very low level, just like the last fight, too, with Fernandes and Jasmine J.
But it'll be a banger, though.
Yeah, it's
going to be a fun fight.
It's a fun fight, for sure. But moving on, we have Mike Malott versus Yohan Lainesse.
I think it's Mike Malott. I think that's
Malott.
Malott.
Yeah, so Malott of what?
Who?
Hey, Malott.
Wait, hold on. Is that another D's nuts?
Possibly.
Ooh, I like that one. I'm going to write that one down. That one's sick. Malott. We got to come up with a setup.
Yeah.
I like that.
But what do you got for me on this fight?
Two Canadians. Malott made his UFC debut against Mickey Gall.
USA, baby.
Yeah. He cleaned Mickey Gall out, though.
Yeah.
Malott's known for his wrestling, though.
But Mickey has no striking.
Yeah.
So, it's he's been Mickey was working with Joe Schilling for a while, but man, like I don't know what it is. I just feel like he just makes bad decisions in the ring, which is why Malott, I remember that fight. He beat him down bad. It was like first round stoppage, right?
First or second, I can't recall.
I'll pull it up. Don't worry, but continue with your fight analysis.
Yeah, so Malott, this fight's is at welterweight. Malott, he used to fight all the way down at featherweight. So he kind of grew into this welterweight spot, but he's got solid hands. He throws out a double pumping jab. His background is wrestling. I think I think the way he wants this fight to go is probably on the ground, because I think he could wear Lainesse out. Lainesse got no kind of cardio at all. Also, as much as I like Lainesse, Yohan is he's a fun fighter. He fought against Gabe Green. I like Gabe Green a lot, but he got washed by Gabe Green. I think this is Mike Malott's fight to lose. I mean, it's a weird fight to break down, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I like Mike Malott in this fight, and it was the first round. He stopped making the first round. I think he's and it's crazy part, he's a grappler, but his hands in that fight against Mickey, his striking's pretty clean.
Yeah. And
he did go and win a decision with Trevor Giles. This is his fight to lose. I like Mike Malott, and I think he is gonna get my money.
Yeah, I mean,
this one you have to follow me on Twitter. I won't say it's an official bet, but I think I'm gonna give my money to Mike Malott in this fight. He should win this fight.
Yeah, I think my lean is Malott as well. I mean, Yohan, again, he's a fantastic striker. He likes to, he can mix up his kicks and punches really well. The problem is he telegraphs everything, so you can see that it's like waiting on the subway station. You see the train coming, you have time to prepare, before that train pulls up and you walk in. Malott's gonna have that same amount of time. By the time he sees that punch almost even anywhere in his vicinity, my man's already ducked, probably behind his back, took him down, probably went for a coffee, came back. She's still on the ground trying to throw that punch. Like, I don't know. It's
like Big Pun. As soon as you pump, I already smoked you with 3 jabs. You feel me?
Yeah.
I recite bars on this podcast. You feel me?
And Yohan's a big dude. Yohan's a very big dude. He cuts a lot of weight to get to this. Even though, again,
Malott, he just gasses, man.
He just gasses, man.
Just gas. He's super explosive.
Yeah.
He's just so explosive. Because and he fought Gabe Green.
Yep.
He almost sent Gabe Green to the shadow realm in that fight. And Gabe Green came back from the shadow realm. I don't know by what kind of magic he came back, and he annihilated him for the rest of the fight because he was just so gassed. He pretty much just gave up in there because he was just tapped out from trying to kill this guy, So I agree. I like Malott in this fight. He can get knocked out, but when I seen him fight Mickey, I thought he was pretty defensively responsible, and I think he can control Yohan with the grappling. I will take. I think, like I said, follow me on Twitter. I agree. I think Mike Malott is the lean. This is definitely a fight that you're going to want to follow both of us on Twitter for to see what we're leaning and what we're going to bet on. But I think I'm going to bet on him. But follow us on Twitter. This is an official lean to Mike Malott.
Yes.
So, and what's our next fight?
Our next fight is at strawweight.
It's Tatiana Suarez. Yeah,
it's at flyweight. I apologize.
Yes, Tatiana Suarez is moving up from strawweight, and after I believe, close to 2-year leave.
No, close to 4-year leave.
Oh my goodness, yeah, she had injuries and this and that, and she is fighting Montana De La Rosa. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I usually don't bet on fighters after they take a 4-year leave. Like, I'll be real with you, but this girl is special.
Yes.
She's very special. They already call her the female Khabib. I wouldn't go that far because she doesn't have the same amount of ground and pound, but she can finish you on the floor. She stopped Carla Esparza with ground and pound, which is very hard to do because Carla's grappling is very competent. She's moving up in weight because she is a big girl for strawweight. She's moving up to 125. She's fighting Montana De La Rosa, who's more of a jiu-jitsu first girl. I like Tatiana a lot here, and the odds reflect, I think she's like minus 800. I would have to find money for you guys on this fight, but I can't pick it personally to go to decision. I can't pick it personally for her to finish.
I agree.
But what I will do is you guys have to follow us on Twitter, because I've been trying to find money for this fight. I cannot.
I think it's tough. It's tough because, man, it's a 4-year layoff. I mean, Jesus, and Tatiana's been through a lot. Neck surgery, cancer, ACL. She's beaten all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if she's like 70% of the girl that she is, she's still a champion
caliber fighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a beast. She is an absolute beast. And the only thing I'm worried about in this fight is whether she takes her time with Montana or gets Montana the hell out. That's
Right.
the only thing I'm worried about. I'm because I can see her taking her time just so she can get, ring time in because she's been out for so long. But I could, again, because Montana's going to be the slightly bigger girl, I can see her just not even messing around and just getting Montana out too. If I had to pick, not even had to pick, but I'm leaning that she gets her out, but I wouldn't be surprised if she just drags her out for a decision. Either way, Tatiana, I think, is winning this fight 100%. She's like minus 800 right now. She's unbettable.
She might be worth the straight. That's how highly I think. I don't know if anyone's worth minus 800.
800
but
is crazy.
God, I would say this is the time because like Montana is a jiu-jitsu girl. She's a tough girl. If I had to pick, if I would say I would be interested in the rounds of this fight, I think it's probably going to go over a round and a half. And I'm going to bank on Montana's durability and her jiu-jitsu capabilities to keep her alive and not get completely manhandled in this fight. But she could very well get stopped in this fight. There's no question. Like Tatiana, I agree with my brother. 70% of this girl is a world championship fighter. And she, if Alexa Grasso or Erin Blanchfield doesn't beat Valentina Shevchenko, this girl will. She will. She presents a lot of problems for Valentina in the grappling. She just does. She's good. And she's been working on her boxing on her off time while she's been rehabbing a lot of things. So I follow us on Twitter. That's the best advice. But the pick is definitely Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah. We just don't know if it's going to be bettable or not, to be
We're
honest.
trying to find money for you guys to make comfortably and safely so you guys can bolster your pockets. But at minus 800, you got to pay $8 to get one back. It's a tough sell. I mean, I might do some degenerate stuff, but that doesn't mean you should. I'm going to be honest. I think we'll find some money for you guys. Follow us on Twitter. You already know the deal. And we're going to move on from this fight.
Yep.
Moving on to the featured fight, which I don't know why this is the feature fight and not Tatiana Suarez, which really bothers me right now, but it's Augusto Sakai versus Don'Tale Mayes. Some sloppy heavyweight kaiju action going on right now, The
UFC loves heavyweights, bro, and they love this low-level heavyweight stuff, and they love putting it in a main card. Oh, my God.
This fight is Augusto's a minus 135 to Don'Tale's plus 115. It's practically close to a pick'em, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'd have to lean Augusto just because of the striking and because he's fought the better brand of competition and because he's, he throws a little bit more volume than Don'Tale.
Yeah. He's the way better striker.
He is.
Yeah. Augusto's the way better striker.
Don'Tale has to wrestle him.
And to be honest,
it could happen.
I mean, because listen, I know I promised myself I wasn't going to look at Don'Tale Mayes again after he did me dirty against Hamdi, who, by the way, popped for like a whole CVS. That man had drugs on drugs on drugs in him.
They couldn't squeeze any more drugs into that man's body.
Oh my God.
But Don'Tale habitual line step, but bad fight decisions. If Augusto can just learn how to stuff a takedown even a little bit, which he's had issues with in the past, but against elite level fighters, that's why I'm trying to be a little more optimistic towards him.
Yeah.
He wins this fight, but Don'Tale, man, damn. Don't tell me nothing about Don'Tale Mayes. You feel me? This guy, he hurts. It hurts when I read his name because he jerked me so bad in that Humvee fight. Oh. He should have packed that boy up, and he had him hurt, and he didn't stop him.
I mean, listen, I'll give him credit. Because when I thought about it, when I was rewatching the fight, I mean, I was getting pissed rewatching the fight because I'm like, man, he pieced him up. There was like 2 instances where he hurt Hamdi, and if he just would have put his foot on the gas just a little bit, he probably could have got Hamdi out. I understand why he didn't want to wrestle Hamdi because Hamdi,
Olympic level wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Don'Tale's previous fight against Josh Parisian, who just fought recently, washed at trash. But
trash.
What he did to Parisian was impressive because he hip tossed that man. He wrestled the living shit out of Parisian. He beat Parisian up on the ground. And I think if he does that to Augusto, I think he can win. I think that's probably his only path to victory here, because I think if he stands with Augusto, I think
Augusto's gonna put mitts on him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, Augusto, he's kind of like small for a heavyweight, and Dantel's like 6'6". He's a very big heavyweight.
Athletic dude.
But he's athletic and he's got power. But I don't think he's quick enough to keep up with Augusto. So I think his path to victory is to take him down and beat Augusto up, because Augusto's he got beat up by Alistair Overeem.
But Alistair's a very technical striker.
In a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
And if it was a 3-round fight,
he probably would have won that fight.
He would have won that fight.
How crazy?
Because he took the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, he did. How crazy is that?
But
yeah.
Alistair was able to take him down those last 2 rounds and beat him up. And he won the fight.
And Augusto was also tired by that point too, from throwing and hitting Alistair.
But Augusto's Achilles heel is 100% wrestling. He can't, you can take Augusto down. So I think if Dontel Mays comes in with a game plan, I think Dontel's a sneaky dog. And maybe it's just me trying to talk myself into this underdog bet. I kind of like Dontel a little bit here as a sneaky underdog play, because I don't think he's as I don't think his IQ is as low as I give it as I initially thought. Again, and what changed my mind was rewatching the Handy fight, because I was like, man, he's such a big guy. How come he didn't wrestle Handy? And I'm like, oh, Handy's an Olympic wrestler. You don't wrestle an Olympic wrestler. Are you betting
Dontel Mays? Is that what you're telling me?
I might bet Dontel Mays. He might be a dog for me. He might be a dog I'm willing to. And if I get burnt by Dontel Mays again, God damn it, I got burnt by Dontel Mays again.
Maldita sea. No, yeah, listen. Follow us on Twitter, because I'm gonna lean Augusto here.
I might do it,
but I understand the Dontel play. But I think I'm leaning Augusto here.
Yeah,
I think I am. I think Augusto's gonna win this fight. It's hard for me to put money on this fight.
Listen, I don't blame my brother. I don't blame him.
Just because there's better spots to put your money on this card.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like Sakai to win this fight, because if you can take 3 rounds away from Alistair, you're not saying something. I think that's impressive. So he's just fought the way better competition. And I can't trust Dontel Mays' fight IQ. I just can't. I'm gonna lean Augusto. If I'm gonna put money on him, I'll tweet it out. But this fight, my lean is Augusto, and I'm probably gonna stay away from this fight. That's the official lean. But my brother's leaning Dontel.
I'm leaning Dontel. It's a degenerate play. I'll let you know if I commit to it. I think I might do it. I'll put it on Twitter for sure. I might do it. Damn it, I'll do it. I don't know. Damn it, I'll do it. I don't know. I might regret it, but I might do it. But I don't blame my brother. Sakai probably is going to win. My lean is Mays for now. I might regret it, but there's nothing. It's low-level heavyweight at the end of the day. We can move on.
Low-level heavyweights, even this fight.
We can move on.
Now, the co-main, which is a great fight, is Andre Muniz versus Brendan Allen at 185. What do you got for me for this fight? And I'll tell you what I got for you.
Well, listen,
we might differ here as well.
We might, because Muniz. I mean, this guy, submission god, the only guy to not only sub Jacare, but he broke Jacare's arm.
Filthy.
He's wicked jiu-jitsu, wicked. Striking is subpar, but he don't need the striking when you got jiu-jitsu like that. You know what I'm saying? And when coming back on Brendan Allen over here, habitual line stepper, but he's been improving.
I agree.
Maybe I'm a little too high on him. Maybe I'm a little too low on Munez, but I mean, Allen, and both of them don't really have the most impressive resume. Munez beating Jacare is probably the highlight between the both of them, but there's something about, I don't know where I want to lean with this one. I'm being honest with you. I think Brendan Allen has been slowly improving. I think he's another probably good dog, because I think his striking has been getting better. My only question with him is probably his IQ, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, so you don't know where you're going with this fight.
I don't know yet.
I do. I like Andre Muniz in this fight, and here's why. Brendan Allen went to a decision with Jacob Malkoun, and he beat Krzysztof Jacko and he beat Sam Alvey. Those are his most notable wins in the UFC.
I think Jacko is probably his best win.
And Jacko doesn't really have a grappling game.
No.
He's okay. He's okay, but he's not Jacare. It's not even the discussion. And Andre broke this guy's arm. He took that right home arm with him. I believe it was his right or his left home arm with him, put it in his back pocket. It's just hard for me not to trust Andre Muniz to get the job done, especially with Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen continuously makes bad decisions in there. Sometimes he'll scramble and roll his opponent into positions where he can be easily reversed. He is a big guy for the division, but I trust Andre's jiu-jitsu to give him a ton of trouble in this fight. I really do. I think Andre's jiu-jitsu is disgusting, and I think Andre Muniz is definitely my bet for this fight.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a unique situation for Brendan Allen because he's only struggled against strikers, but he's never faced anybody with this kind of jiu-jitsu before either. So it's like,
and not really either because he kind of struggled against Jacob Malkoun, who's just a pressure grappler.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, he out-wrestled Malkoun, but at the end of the day, he still out-wrestled Malkoun.
Malkoun also put him on his back, too.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. Yeah. There's just a lot of red flags for Brendan. This is a proven spot for Brendan. If I lose my money on Muniz, I'll lose my money on Muniz.
Yes.
But Brendan Allen, could he win this fight? Sure, he has a lot of upside, but I'm going to go with what I know. Muniz is going to win this fight, and that's going to be my bet for sure. You're still on the fence, right, about what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence, man, because, again, there's something about Brendan Allen. I think he's got that it, I feel like. There's something about him where I think he can make it to, like, not only be, like, I don't want to say championship. I don't think he's that. I would have to see a little more for that, but I think he's really good. I think Brendan Allen is really good, and he has been improving.
He's young, too.
And he's very young, so it's like...
But Andre has beaten, and not to interject, I apologize.
No,
but
it's okay.
Andre has literally beaten Uriah Hall via decision, who's a big, strong guy, and he also beat. I know it's a little bit of a lower level, but I would say Erick Anders. Erick Anders and Brendan Allen are kind of on the same level.
Yeah.
And he subbed that guy in the first round. Erick Anders is a super athlete and very strong. Muniz is the bet for this fight, guys. I'm going to put my hard-earned money on that man because I think he is an absolute savage. And if you want to get a little more dicey, I would say put it via submission too. He probably subs Brendan Allen, which is insane because Brendan is competent on the floor. But I just don't see I don't see how he's going to be able to deal with his grappling and his wrestling. I don't see how he's going to be able to deal with it. He might survive for a little bit and he'll probably get him in the second round. But if you want, prick is Muniz. If you want, the bet is Muniz. If you want to bet via submission, I don't think that's a bad bet either. But the official bet is Muniz straight.
Yeah, I don't want.
You want to agree with me?
I want to agree with you.
Yeah, I know you do.
But I don't. I don't. I'm still on the fence about this one. Give me a little more time to really like soak this one in.
Twitter, baby. Follow it.
Yeah, I put it out on Twitter. Listen, I'm a dog hunter, man. I got a dog pound. I love searching for dogs, baby. You know what I'm saying? I like looking for like plus money where I can find it. I think this is a pretty good dog shot. I just don't know. It's tough. I mean, they're dogs for a reason. You see what I'm saying? So it's like all risk, no reward. All bark, no bite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's tough. It's tough. But that's all we really got for this one. We can move on from this one, I guess.
Yes, and now moving into the main event feature of the evening, Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. And Lord, this is a banger. Someone is dying in this fight.
Yeah.
There's no way this fight goes to decision, and it's 5 rounds. Yeah, no, this fight is not going to decision, ladies and gentlemen. I think that line is juiced, if I'm correct, to minus 650 right now, which makes a lot of sense. This fight's not going to decision. But what do you got for me on this fight?
All right, well... This one's interesting because Krylov has been around. This is his second stint in the UFC. This one's a little tough. The problem with me, well, the problem I see in this fight is that Krylov, as good as he is, he gets himself into a lot of trouble, and he gets subbed out. He gets subbed a lot. And Ryan Spann has got a wicked guillotine. He loves that guillotine, boy. And
Ryan can crack. He can crack.
Yeah.
Man. The way he knocked out Dominic Reyes that last fight, that was as nasty as it gets. And if you haven't seen it, if you're not someone that watches like a lot of these the lower level fights, I highly urge you to watch that fight it was quick. It's like literally he knocks him out within the first minute and a half of the fight. Destroys him, sends him completely to hell, So I would say I don't have an official bet for this fight, but if I had to lead on a bet, I think this fight is not going to go over a round and a half. But I can't guarantee. Like I said, there's no official bet on this. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I agree. I don't think this fight goes the distance. I don't know what round in particular.
I don't know what round.
I don't think this makes it all. If it makes it all 5, this fight is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very ugly fight if it makes it all 5 rounds.
All the other over-unders are juice, like to the point where you have to put $5 or $6 down for the, for essentially to make a couple of dollars back. And I think that's crazy, The over and under for a round and a half is plus 125 for the over, minus 155 for the under on DraftKings. Ryan Spann's a live dog in this fight. I think betting it straight might be the best bet, which is crazy.
I was just gonna say because the dog hunter in me is coming out again. I'm smelling. I smell the dogs out here. We out here, and I'm like, this. I got a list of their wins and losses here, right? Notable, or at least in my opinion. Spann has beat Minotauro, Devin Clark. I put Sam Alvey there because he's a name, but whatever. Serkinov, Kudalaba, and Dom Reyes. He's only lost to Anthony Smith and
Johnny
Walker. Now going back to Krylov. Krylov's lost to Blachowicz, Teixeira, Ankalaev, Paul Craig, Serkinov. Serkinov is how you say his name, right? And St. Preux. He's got wins against St. Preux, Walker, Gustafsson, and Ozdemir. Gustafsson and Ozdemir being his most recent wins.
And Gustafsson being extremely washed, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just keep that, he was also beating the hell out of Paul Craig in that fight until he got subbed.
Yes.
He was molly-whopping him. You know what I'm saying? He was about to send that boy to the pearly gates. And, Paul Craig, what his Paul Craig ways, gets punched in the face, pulls in, and I think get him to an arm bar or like a triangle, and he just puts him out. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
It's funny because, like, it's almost, maybe I'm crazy, but maybe I'm weighing Spann's wins more. I think I like his wins more than I like Krylov's wins. I like Krylov's losses more than I like Spann's losses. But it's tough. It's tough. I think this is a very good fight. I think Krylov is the better. He might be the better overall guy. The problem is he's got to get risky to get to the spots he needs to get to beat Spann. And I don't think Spann is the kind of guy you want to make mistakes against.
Right.
So I think I'm leaning Spann here. Crazy enough, he's the slight dog.
Yeah, I feel like he's worth the dog shot, especially since he stated his last fight as well, in the post fight that was the first fight that he actually had a full training camp for.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'll take him at his word, and I will take his upside as well because he is a very big and physical heavyweight. He is humongous. Not heavyweight, light heavyweight. He could comfortably fight at heavyweight. That's how big he is. He is a big guy. Literally has a Superman tattoo on his chest if you've never seen him before. That's why his nickname is Superman. But he can crack, man. And the way he put out Dom Reyes, I know Dom Reyes hasn't really been the same since that John Jones loss, but he put that boy out bad. And it was very clean punching, just very clean punching. And then the fight before that, he fought Kudalaba, and Kudalaba's a good grappler, decent grappler, fell right into that guillotine.
Yeah.
Right into that guillotine. Kudalaba, he's just undersized for the division. He should be fighting at 85. But Kudalaba is a great grappler, and he's a Sambo champion.
And Spann put it on him slick. Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think.
And I like Krylov. I like Krylov.
His style, he's fun, man.
He's a fun guy. He's got that Ukrainian toughness too. You know what I'm saying? So
Big up to the country, 100. He's a savage.
My only problem with Krylov is, like I said, I think he needs to get into the danger to implement his plan. And, I mean, listen, if he could avoid the danger, if he could avoid Spann capitalizing on any of that stuff, I think he could win 100%.
I agree.
And I think, I understand why they got him as the slight favorite. But, man, 5-round fight, and you need to avoid Spann for 5 rounds. I think I could see Spann just catching him, man. Either with a punch or with the guillotine. And, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I really got for this one, if I'm being honest.
Krylov, that's the thing, Krylov wrestled Ozdemir his last fight. And he kind of had a similar entry every time. So, a guy with bad fight IQ with similar entries where, if he's orthodox, in an orthodox stance and he shoots, Spann just has to be set in one way to lock up the guillotine under his neck. I'm gonna take a dog shot here on Spann with you. Yeah. I think he's extremely competent, and I think he's very live. And that concludes this card.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good job, my brother. Yeah. Good job. This is interesting. You boys and you girls out there, you got to follow us on Twitter. For anything live that we're gonna do. I'm probably gonna see if I put more money on this Ryan Spann Krylov fight and a few more spots, because I think there is money to be made on this card. I'm sure my brother agrees.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking a couple of dog shots. I might commit to some dog shots here. Listen, I just maybe I'm chasing from last week because I took some dog shots. And if I just would have took Emmers, man,
I
would have been But
I avoided that card like the plague, man. But this card, definitely money to be made.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good card.
Definitely money to be made. But,
I agree.
But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you already know. Hugo the Boss, Boogie Kahuna.
Episode 3, baby.
Episode 3. Follow us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
All you YouTube heads, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yep. And for all you audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google. Peace. Holla at you. Follow us on Twitter. Let us know about them picks. Take it easy. God bless. Don't get sent to the shadow realm like some of these boys and girls are in this card.
One love, baby. One love.
Love you.
Take it easy, guys.